Do you believe in God?
Elon Musk, a name that defines innovation, technology, and the future. A visionary who has reshaped industries, from electric vehicles to space travel. But beyond his groundbreaking achievements, one question remains. What does the man who dreams of taking humanity to Mars believe in?
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Keep watching until the end, as you'll hear Musk speak openly about his views on God, religion, and spirituality. But perhaps the most surprising revelation of all, the moment when he acknowledges the wisdom of Jesus Christ and his teachings.
You know, there's there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings.
If you're interested in discovering the spiritual side of the world's most influential figures, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have an entire series exploring the beliefs of celebrities, actors, and even world leaders. Now, let's dive in.
Can science and religion coexist?
Probably not.
What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology.
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Wow, that's really not praying.
Right.
Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means.
So what do you think spiritual means?
You know, it's different from the physical dimensions we're aware of. And there's certainly things that we don't understand about the universe. But you know, I'm less convinced that there's, say, some super consciousness watching over our every movement and kind of evaluating it against some criteria, you know, and deciding whether we're going to go to one place or another when we die. I think that's unlikely. I mean, and it does beg the question: if there is some super consciousness, where did the super consciousness come from? When I was, I don't know, about 11 or 12 years old, I had somewhat of an existential crisis because there just didn't seem to be any meaning in the world. Like, no meaning to life. And so I actually tried to read all the religious texts.
At that age?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was a voracious reader as a kid. So I, you know, obviously read the Bible. I read the Quran, the Torah. You know, the various a bit on the Hindu side. Just trying to understand all these things. And obviously, as a 12-year-old, you're not really going to understand these things super well. But I've just
you understood it well enough to have an existential crisis when you were 11 or 12.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Well,
figure
that's
out,
a start.
Does anyone have an answer that makes sense? And then I started getting into the philosophy books, and I read quite a bit of Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, and which is quite depressing to read as a kid.
Yeah, you might say that.
That's depressing as an adult, but. And none of them really seem to have, to me, answers that resonated, at least to me.
You said you're with Einstein, that you believe in the God of Spinoza.
Yes.
So, you know, that's a view that God is like the universe and reveals himself through the laws of physics, or as Einstein said, through the lawful harmony of the world.
Yeah, I would agree that God of the simulator or whatever, the supreme being or beings, reveal themselves through the physics. You know, they're creators of this existence. And it's incumbent upon us to try to understand more about this wondrous creation.
Do you believe in God?
I believe there's some explanation for this universe, which you might call God. We went ahead and launched. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I nonetheless got on my knees and prayed for that mission. I would say I generally agree with the teachings of Christianity, but I am not religious. like turn the other cheek and love thy neighbor as thyself and that kind of thing.
But do you believe in like a god or like a higher power?
Well, something created the universe, or the universe is, here. How did it come to be? You could say whatever caused the universe to come to be is God, or gods, depending on your view. I don't know. I think as a philosophy that I think makes sense is to go out there and to expand consciousness so that we're better able to answer the questions of like, what is the meaning of life? What is the nature of the universe? What are even the right questions to ask? And if we can expand consciousness, more humans and more digital intelligence, then our opportunity to understand the meaning of life is that much greater. And so I would I have the philosophy of curiosity. Yeah. I mean, part of it, I suppose, is sort of the decline of religion. So, as the saying goes, nature abhors a vacuum. So when you have essentially a decline in religion, an increase in the secular nature of society, for most people, they need something to fill that void. Maybe this will make me even more enemies, but I have trouble sort of believing all these stories, these religious stories, but obviously a lot of people do. I respect people who want to have religious views. I'm not trying to dissuade them from their religious views, but I'm culturally Christian. I grew up Christian. I mean, I was Anglican, was baptized, I went to Sunday school.
Yeah.
I guess the operating system I have is sort of a physics engineering operating system where I try to understand as much as possible about reality. In physics, you're not supposed to believe anything absolutely. You're supposed to question things. That's how you discover new physics. In engineering, that's how you discover if your machine will work or not work. I'm probably a cultural Christian.
Okay, so
I was brought up as an Anglican, and I was baptized. And although oddly enough, my parents also simultaneously sent me to a Jewish nursery school, preschool. So it was Jesus our Lord.
well, Jews have a reputation for being religious too,
Yeah, no, I might have been the only non-Jewish kid at the school. I didn't even realize that was the thing. Well, so, while I'm not a particularly religious person, I do believe that the teachings of Jesus are good and wise. And that there's tremendous wisdom in turn the other cheek. I think there's anyway. So
why not
I think
bitterness?
This notion of forgiveness is important. I think it's essential because if you don't forgive, then as I forget who said it, but an eye for an eye makes everyone blind.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to seek vengeance, and you have this never-ending cycle of vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a big believer in the principles of Christianity. I think they're very good. I mean, let's just say, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated, and there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important because, as opposed to an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. So forgiveness, is important, and treating people as you would wish to be treated. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Very important.
So it's like a 60-70% yes?
As Einstein would say, I believe in the God of Spinoza. But hey, if Jesus is saving people, I mean, I wouldn't stand in his way. I'll be sure, I'll be saved. Why not?
Elon Musk is a man of science, logic, and reason, a visionary who challenges the limits of human capability. Yet, even in his reflections on faith, we see a curiosity about the universe, about creation, and about the deeper questions of existence. He does not claim to have all the answers, but in his own words, he acknowledges the wisdom of Jesus Christ. his teachings of love, forgiveness, and kindness. And isn't that what faith truly is? A journey of discovery, of searching for truth, and of understanding that beyond the physical world, there is something greater. Whether through the laws of physics or the mysteries of the soul, many seek to comprehend the meaning of life. Some call it science. Others call it faith. But perhaps they are not so different. For those who believe, Jesus is not just a historical figure. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And his words, even after 2,000 years, continue to touch the hearts of those who listen. So, what about you? What do you believe? Let's continue this conversation in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the spiritual journeys of the world's most influential people. God bless you, and until next time,